Hi, welcome to Access. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Ken.
And today we're doing Jude. Do you want to do the history?
Hey, Jude. I thought you were doing the history.
No, you are.
Okay.
Oh, I read the wrong one. Jude is a book at the back end of the Bible.
Jude, I can do the history for us.
I'm sorry.
No. Jude is linked with 2 Peter.
Yes.
Again, I've read everything from saying Jude might be the earliest book in the New Testament, beating out 1 Thessalonians, or like you cited with 2 Peter, it may be quite later because of the concerns about false teachers and all that. So I'm going to kind of say that we're not very sure about very much with the book of Jude, and I'm not sure it's super helpful. So that's Jude, the history, thematically.
Themes are a concern for false teachers.
That's the main concern.
And the consequences of that, which I think is kind of a new twist on it. Because, like, a lot of times it's like, ooh, bad false teachers, be wary of them. But this, I think, is more emphasis of, like, what's going to happen if you go down that primrose path.
And to them, Jude is a harsh book.
Yeah.
Lots of people don't like to read Jude because of that, but
it's like setting up for Revelation.
Yeah, and I have a friend who loves Jude, but I think he and I both like it now because there's a Portishead song. That uses the phrase "wandering clouds, for whom it is reserved the darkness."
We're gonna get there.
And yeah, I know, but
that's your story.
Okay, all right.
I didn't want you to steal your own thunder.
but he's a harsh guy. Yeah. Well, not harsh, but Ryan. If you're out there and you know this.
Oh, Ryan's a harsh guy, not Jude.
Exactly.
But Jude is too.
Ryan actually, he's the guy who would say, "I'm so mad, I want to raise hell and put a prop under it." Isn't that great? And Ryan's the kind of guy that he thinks of those things, those one-liners, and he says them at the moment. Whereas I'm 10 minutes later, oh, I should have said that. And Jude is that book. Jude is the book, if you're wondering, why is he talking about this? Jude is the book where he says all of those great one-liners, at the time.
Yeah. And then some of the other themes are that second coming expectation, which has been very present, especially in these last couple of letters. And also the Lordship of Christ. And it's a small book, so there's not a litany of themes.
Yeah, it's one chapter, 25 verses. You can read it quickly.
And they're all zingers.
Yeah. I kind of want us to focus on the artistry of the. I was gonna say the hate, but that's probably not a good word for it. But the artistry of the one-liners.
Yeah, I didn't mean to shush you earlier.
Oh no. It's okay, future Nicole.
We've made up. It's fine.
The book is describing what these false teachers are like, and what's fascinating is that he doesn't talk about their beliefs very much. He talks about their behavior, and so their beliefs may be in some accord with the communities, but it's the way they act. And they are licentious, so they are not comporting with whatever the standards of behavior were at the time. They were lewd, they were crude, they were
socially unacceptable.
Yeah, they were crossing boundaries, is what they were doing, and
not in the helpful way that Jesus crossed boundaries.
Correct. Yeah. These are people who largely, like we've seen with clergy sex abuse scandals today. This is how I read this, where they come and they use the same. Theologically they fit in, but then they're like wolves in sheep's clothing, where they're crossing boundaries and they're hurting people who have entrusted their lives into their care. And Jude, is you're smirking.
I am. I have a one-liner in my head.
Maybe that's a little dramatic. I don't know.
But I'll keep it in.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
So when he's talking about the teachers, he's saying, look at their conduct, and then he describes them. I just think this is great. He says, these people, they are blemishes on your love feast. That's the communion.
They call it your love feast?
While they feast with you without fear, feeding themselves. So the teachers they're eating with you, but they're stuffing their faces before you. So they care about themselves, not you. And then this is the description. They're waterless clouds carried along by the winds. They're autumn trees without fruit, twice dead, uprooted. Wild waves of the sea casting up the foam of their own shame, wandering stars for whom the deepest darkness has been reserved forever. You know, the bulk of those images, which, I mean, that's poetic negativity right there. The bulk of them is, they're full of motion and they're interesting, fascinating, but in the end, ultimately
empty.
substanceless, empty. And so, you know, it's like like testing the spirits in John. It's testing teachers, testing you're testing us, testing pastors.
Yeah.
You know, is there something underneath? Is there love underneath, or is there just teaching and talk?
Yeah. If you run into a pastor that says crazy things, I'd go talk to him. Like, I would encourage the testing of pastors.
Yes.
And just find out where they are, you know.
When
where are they in Stockholm?
Where are you? You know, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I repeat things, but
they're good
but
things.
Pat.
Paul repeats things all the time.
That's right. But you know, when you've got someone who's going to go into the ministry, I mean, it's important to know things.
Yeah.
It's important to know teaching. But I mean, underneath, the only needful thing, the only thing you have to have, is love for the sheep. It's love for the people.
Yeah, heart for ministry.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great to have a smart pastor who knows a lot. It's great to have Nicole who knows so much. But what you want is someone who's like Nicole, who loves too. I mean, it's.
Because.
And really, I think that's got to be primary.
I think it trumps.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm sure you can attest to this too. So, we both went to Princeton Theological Seminary, and people get like, "Ooh, Princeton! People must be really smart there." And I gotta say, yeah, there's lots of smart people, but there are a lot of people who just have the biggest heart for the church ever, and school's not really their thing. But they still go.
I have to say now, you know, on the yacht club, there were some just lovely people. I'm kidding.
On the crew team.
The crew team at Princeton was lovely. That's what people think of us, but we're not like that.
No, where I think it's something crazy, like 5% of graduates go into PhD programs. And then there's like 5 that don't do any ministry after.
Yeah, well, no, quite a few don't do anything,
but the vast majority go into professions of caring.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so much more important, and the best pastors I know are not the bookworms.
No, and I mean, our learning has to be in service to the people. So that's why preaching to me is the central task, because I love books, I love learning, but if you cannot distill it down in kind of a way, in a story form that is communicable, then
what's the point?
And I think that's kind of what we get in Jude is, you know, spend time with your teachers, spend time with these people, and make sure that their words match their actions. Match who they are. That's a better way to put it.
That just feels like such the central theme of the Catholic epistles. They're called Catholic epistles in the universe. Like, there's the Pauline, there's the pastoral, and there's the Catholic.
General or Catholic.
General, universal. And it's like your words match your actions.
Yeah,
that's
true.
A good word.
When we do them all in one day like that, we can sense these themes.
We see these themes that I don't think we would normally see. Yeah.
Well, that's Jude. You got anything more?
Nope.
All right. No wandering stars.
Nope.
All right. Next. Revelation. Woo-hoo.